Hello everybody and welcome. I am the Swamp Donkey and welcome to a little bit of Hob. We're going to do a gameplay and walkthrough. So the first question is, what is Hob? Well, it's not really easily described in just one or single word. Hob is a platformer. It's an action game. It's a puzzle game. It's an adventure. It's all of these things, all of these elements combined. Hob is a creature. You're kind of, the best way I can put it, without going through too many spoilers. Sure, you're put into a world of the unknown. There isn't a single language here that's really understood. There are no subtitles or really anybody that can speak to you to tell you what's going on or why you're here. That's kind of left up to the player to figure out as you transverse through this world. So with all of these different elements of platforming and puzzle and action, Hob is truly an amazing experience. Is that to say that there aren't issues with the game? Absolutely not. I mean, the further that I progress through the game, and I did beat this, the further that I progressed through the game, the more little issues would crop up. But was it enough that it really affected my overall experience? No, not really. I mean, there were times to where I fell through the map, or you know, the game would, the frame rate would stutter or kind of glitch a little bit, or I'd get hung on a tree. The great thing is when this happens, all you have to do is hit start and go down to respawn, and it respawns your character. I love that feature that they put in there, the developers put in. I don't know if they encountered these issues as they were progressing through and said, hey, we're going to put this into the game, but they did, and it works. So if you get stuck and you, for whatever reason, the game glitches out and you get hung on a tree, or you get hung on one of the creatures in the world, which can happen, you can hit respawn. The world is fairly big. I would say that I spent approximately between 10 and 12 hours on the game, and that really is going to be predicated on you and how much time you invest in the game. Someone could probably rush through a lot of the areas. The areas are kind of divided up. Most of the land is green. You have these bushes here that you can swipe with your sword, and you can chop them down, which I really love. There are certain trees that you can chop down. You do have save points. There's a giraffe in the background there. You can get hung up on these. I never did. But yeah, you have save points throughout the game. You also have fast travel, which I like as well. You hop in these little pods right here, and they will fast travel you all over the map. You have schematics in the game, which again, there are so many different elements to this game that the developers added in. It's just, I think, exceptional. It's like they took bits and pieces of different games and kind of wrapped it all up into one and created this other game. One of the unique and best features about Hob is as you progress through the land, you pull levers, you change the layout of the land, and that actually can determine how you might progress forward. There are certain areas in this game you're going to come across that you're not going to be able to access, and you're going to look up and go, hey, what is that? How can I use this right here? Can I get over to another area like we're doing? And you can't use these until later on, to where you get abilities. That's the other thing that you pick up. You have abilities in this game. And as you progress through the story of the game, you'll pick up certain abilities which allow you to progress and do more. Kind of think of Zelda in that sense. You know, Zelda, you start out with, you have a shield, you have a sword, and then as you progress through, you pick up a bow, which there are no bows in this game, or you might pick up other abilities. This is another ability I'm showing you, so spoiler alert, a little late there. You can warp. But again, these are all things that you pick up. You can level up your health, just like you would in Zelda. Say you find hearts in Zelda. In this game, you find little pods, and you cut them open, and they're kind of heart-shaped, and you increase your health. The bar up underneath my health is a stamina bar, same thing. In the game world, again, it's not really explained. You'll come across robots. Robots carry energy. And you take that energy, open up the robot, and it gives you a little piece of energy. After you collect about 6 of these, it gives you a full health bar at the top. I came down here because I didn't want to spoil the map, so I will be showing the map a little bit later. So those of you that do not want to see the map, I would advise you not to look. To the left is, again, this isn't something that's really explained in the game. I'm going to go over it real quick. The first little bent over shaped icon is actually what I'm going to call it's a shard. You collect these. As you can see, I'm missing one. Somewhere along the way I missed one. You collect these to upgrade your sword. That sword is also used for other things in the game, which I'm not going to spoil for you guys, but basically there is lore in the game, and there are secrets, and you have to find them. The second one is, those are butterflies. Basically, butterflies are for people that like to scavenge, these players that like to go around in this vast world and search for these little butterflies. They actually do serve a purpose when it comes to upgrading. The one thing that I found that it served mostly as is upgrading different cloaks, and I'll show you that in a bit. Those basically give you different abilities while taking away others. I didn't find it necessary to buy them, but I will show you what we could buy. The second one, as you see, is a pod. Basically, it's a two-part a heart. We're going to call it a heart for lack of a better word. You get these out of plant pods. There are 2 pieces. Once you obtain 2 of those pieces, you get an additional square at the top, or I believe it's 1 square. The fourth icon, that's your energy bar, as I was stating earlier. Those you pick up every time you find these robots in the game. You open their chest up, and then basically you get one little spear, if you will. You collect, was it 5 of those? And then it'll give you 1 solid bar that you can see up underneath my health bar. And of course, the last icon, those are sprites. Throughout this vast world, you have sprites. What is not really explained again in the game, because there is no dialogue, is that you have to save these sprites. And again, I'm not going to spoil why or what's going on. I will leave that up to you to figure that out. Here we are in the only area in the game that I wish they would have kind of created more, but at least they have a fast travel to get back here. This is your workshop. Down here is where, once you collect these shards, you come over and you drop them off. As you can see, I just dropped a shard off. I'm still missing 1, and once I do that, we forge my sword and upgrade it. Here is where, once you collect, as you can see, and this is great that it's doing this, these are schematics that I collected out in the field. You can't use them right away. You have to bring them back to your workshop. They get added in, and then you can purchase them. As you can see at the top, I have like 251 of these green little coins. I'm not exactly sure what they're called, but in any case, you use these to buy these items. As you can see, these are all the items that I have acquired through the game. I did buy this gear down here. As you can tell, it says speed energy recovery. It speeds up the energy recovery but reduces my health. So again, with the bonuses that you may get from buying certain things, especially more so with the cloaks, they do take away something else. As you progress further in the game, you'll come across different cloaks This one takes 100 of these little coins, and then you need 8 of the butterflies. So that's where the butterflies do come in to serve, so you can buy those. Over on the right side, this is where I'm going to call this our wardrobe center. Once you obtain, you start out with the red one. I only bought one. I do have, I believe, one more, maybe another one. I didn't feel the need to buy it. You can change into these, and I'll do this for you real quick just to show you. As you can tell, it reduced my health into half. But it looks pretty cool. I just felt for the game, I didn't need that. So we're going to change it back. The music in the game is, I thought, done very well. There are high parts and low parts as you're progressing through the game. The music will kick in. You'll get that tune in the background. It's subtle. You can adjust that in the menu itself. One of the things that I do like, obviously one of the many things that I like about the game is once the game is done, it gives you the opportunity, which is what you see me doing here, to go back. And if I want to go back and collect the butterflies or go back and research and find those little secrets and lore that I haven't found, I can do that. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and open up my map. For those of you that do not want to see this, you may want to go ahead and shut off the video or fast forward so that it doesn't spoil this area for you. I want to show you exactly what there is. The map starts out very clouded, just like Assassin's Creed, but this isn't Assassin's Creed, and there are no towers to climb. As you progress through each area, the map starts to open up and the clouds dissipate. So here's the map. It's a fairly large area. Like I said, it takes a good 10 to 12 hours to go through this game. Not exactly sure why that's yellow, unless that's a glitch. Let's take a look here again. This could be a glitch because it normally doesn't look that way. It's very strange. It's the first time I've actually seen that. That is very weird. Unless it's blocking me out for some reason, I don't know. But as you can tell, these are all the different areas that you're going to be going through. Unfortunately, I wish the yellow wasn't there. I'm going to give you guys a little bit more of the gameplay. I really haven't done a whole lot of that yet. So let's see here. You can actually pet some of these animals. I don't know if I can. It'll give you a pop-up icon when you get next to them, and you can actually walk up and pet or hug them. It's kind of cool. I thought that was a neat little feature that they added to the game. I do like these little save points. I like the fast travel. Again, there's just so much that they added to the game. I love this ability. I love being able to do different things. It's just it's really neat overall. When I said it was a platformer puzzle, yes, this is a great example. When you go through the world, you have to move things in order to get to other levels, in order to climb, in order to jump over. You can see as we're platforming through the area, these are things that you'll be able to do. You'll have to raise and lower certain aspects in certain areas. I think we just made one big loop, but you get the general idea. These are the things that you have to do. Climb up walls. There are vines that you can climb. It's just one of the things that gives you that three-dimensional aspect to the game. Now, I will say that overall the game wasn't very difficult. Hard as in you had to fight tons and tons of bosses. There are enemies in the game. I may have killed most of them, but there are enemies. Just a matter of finding them. But gravity will be your worst enemy. The plants are living. I think that's really cool. When you walk up, they will hit you. There is blood in the game. I think that's fascinating as well that they included that. And there's different kinds of blood, and you can kill the animals, just like I did there. And sometimes the animals have different blood. But the sounds in the game, we talked about the music, let's talk about the sounds for a minute. from the climbing aspect to you hear him climbing on rock to climbing on ladder. The developers did a really good job of implementing different sounds, from leaves blowing, from what sounds like a chipmunk, to the, like I said, the subtle music in the background. It's just phenomenal. And it's a game that I really had a hard time putting down. I just, once it grabbed a hold of me, I just felt compelled to progress forward. And yes, you can kill that dude that just ran off. He is killable. But these guys don't hurt you. They're your friends. These, you can tell the different colored trees. You can chop these down. I like the kind of cel-shaded aspect that the game has. I think that's really cool. I was hoping to be able to pet some of these creatures for you, but unfortunately they're not going to let me do that. These guys won't hurt you unless you kill them first, and they will blow up. See how he's blinking and he blew up. You can get hearts from grass if you swing. There's one that just popped up, so you can refill your health that way. It's also pretty cool that the environments vary from area to area that you transverse to. If you go from one area to another, you can see that there's a desert area, there's a water area. There are dungeons in the game that you'll go underground. Just kind of like the same aspect that we went into our workshop to forge. You can do that as well and go underground into these dungeons and progress through the levels. You'll see little areas like this to where you know that there's something underground, but you don't know exactly quite how to get to it. So you'll spend time looking around. If you noticed up to the left over there, there's a ladder that leads down. So the question is, well, how the hell do I get to that ladder? And you think, all right, well, we'll go back up here. And the developers, this is where they did a really, really good job. Well, you can't get up there. There's no way to get up there. So there has to be another way. So you'll spend time through the game, and I'm not going to show you how to do it because it took me freaking forever to figure it out. But you'll spend time in the game running around trying to figure this stuff out. But like right now, I can hear the wind. Hopefully you can too, or I did. You see the lightning bugs or whatever the hell it is. You see the leaves blowing through. These are all just little elements that you don't necessarily think about, but when combined together, it just makes for a fantastic atmosphere. Is this game Zelda? No, it's not. Does it have Zelda-like qualities? Yes. Yes, it does. But it's definitely not Zelda. It's different. Again, they took different elements from different games and kind of combined them and then created something very unique. Here's another area. Here's the desert. You see that lightning? That stuff will kill you. And yes, you can drop through that hole in the ground. Here you go. Here's an enemy. Look at the blue and the blue blood. I mean, it's just great. I think it's great, and you can kill them in different ways. So I'm using a super punch, and that's an ability that you have to acquire. You can block with your shield. I love that. See how he peeks down behind his shield? I think that is just really cool. Kind of get in that crouching mode, and you can move around. It's not like it's 360, so you're not moving in just left or right or front and back. No, I don't want to get hit by lightning. It's just an overall really cool game. One that I had a lot of fun with. And yes, you can dodge. They implemented a dodge button so that you could dodge out of the way. There is an auto lock button, just like in Dark Souls. You know, for those of us that love Dark Souls, you can auto lock onto enemies. Let's see if we can find one, and I will auto lock onto it for you. Here we go. Right there's your auto lock. It highlights the enemy so you know which one. and you can change. If there was another one that was popped up, see, we just changed. We just changed the helm. You can change the helm. So we can do that. And you kind of get the little slow motion effect in there as well. I like the fact that the grass isn't green in this area. Again, I'm referring to this as the desert area. The ground is cracked. The grass is more like dry grass. There's cacti or cactus. The game overall has this very industrial feel to it as well. It's very alive. The living plants in the game do not take favoritism to just beating on you. I've seen it time and time again to where you can lure, or if an enemy gets in the way of a plant, it'll kill it. So there is no favoritism. You could actually have enemies beat on each other. If you have multiple enemies and one takes a swing, you can like group them together and have them swing and kill or damage the other enemies that are in its way or in its path. Again, I give a lot of credit to the developers for implementing physics like that. That really says a lot for the thought process that they put into this game. It's just been one of the better games that I've played in a long time, and the fact that it was by an independent developer, see how it just, you go from one area to another, you can actually just see the lighting of the clouds overhead. See the lighting, it's just, you can see it as it passes over. It's just really cool. You can see how the light comes through the side of the trees. But the developer just put a lot of thought process into this game. Here's another one of those trees that you can cut down. Again, you need to keep an eye on those. And I think this game is definitely worth checking out. If you're someone like me that likes to think a little, that likes action games, that likes a story, and that's one of the things that you definitely have to try to piece together. I struggled a little bit trying to understand the concept because it's not directly thrown at you in a sense to where you have words telling you what's going on. Again, there's hidden lore in the game. You're going to have to find that, try to decipher it. As you get to the end of the game, it will come together. And there will be choices that you will have to make. And again, I'm not spoiling anything for you. The game is a great game. So if you are like me in the sense that you enjoy these action games, kind of like Zelda, you enjoy puzzle games, you enjoy platforming games, this would be a game that I would recommend that you play. Time and time again, I felt the need just to spend time going through the game, understanding the mechanic combats, or combat physics, the aspect, the different enemies, how they react, how they die. Because they can die in different ways. There's butterflies flying out of the leaves or the weeds. Just little things like that. You have the music in the background playing right now. You have over, I hear birds chirping and frogs burping, and just whatever that's going on, and something else howling in the background. Just a lot of background stuff that's going on that really adds that sense of immersion to a game that I feel is so important. But again, the developers really left it up to the player to figure out the story side of it. And some people may be turned off by that. Some may not. I found that the game, with everything that they've done, everything that they've implemented, was intriguing enough to me to keep me going forward. I enjoyed the upgrade mechanic. I enjoyed trying to find shards. I enjoyed trying to find schematics. Those are things that all appealed to me. and hopefully they'll appeal to you as well. I enjoyed looking at an area far away, thinking to myself, could I reach that area? Was it even possible? And then coming back 10, 20, 30 minutes later, after I'd progressed through another area, to find out that yes, I can access the area, but not from the way I thought was possible. By hitting a lever, pushing a button, climbing a vine wall. These are things that are all implemented in this game that make you look at it a little bit differently. Hopefully you've enjoyed my little gameplay and review of Hob. And if you do pick it up, let me know what you think in the comment section below, because I would be really curious to see if there are things that you agree with and or disagree with. Or if you find something else in the game that maybe I didn't. Until next time, you guys take care.